Hey, this is truly Jacob, a writer. This is my pen writing and media name, so you probably won't see my face. But today we're gonna go over summary of the second book, In the Hand of the Goddess. It's the series Song of the Lioness by Tamara Pierce. So hope you enjoy this video. Again, it is spoilers. Again, the question is, if you had kids and you're trying to instill moral values into your kids, is this a good book to read? So at the end, we will go over moral lessons, if there are any, in this book. Of course, feel free to read this or listen to this yourself to determine for yourself if this is something you want your kids to listen to or be able to read. So let's begin. So you end in book one where they went to this dark city. I forgot the name of the city. I think it was the Black City. And they killed immortals, all of them. The prince, Jonathan, and Alana. And she's masquerading as a boy because she didn't think they would allow her to learn how to become a knight if she was like, I'm a girl, I want to learn how to sword fight. So she was like basically at the palace the whole time in training and doing different things. So you kind of start off where it's like they're back at the palace, the castle, everything. She's developing like a deeper friendship with Jonathan. Jonathan knows she's a girl. And there's this guy in the city who's a thief, but is more loyal to Jonathan, not necessarily the king and the queen or anyone else. But he is trying to do his best to get around. But he seems like he's somewhat older than her, or maybe 10 or 15 years older than her. I'm not sure. But he had found out that Alana was a girl. She's going by Alan for short. And so like he sometimes kisses her and he's very affectionate to her and is like, yeah, I'm gonna marry you someday and stuff like that. And she is young because like she's just a teenager, so she's not sure about it. She's not sure about this whole love thing. And because she didn't really like a girly things when she was younger. But so you have that going on, and then she may actually have a crush on Jonathan the prince, but she doesn't know it because she's like unsure of like the girl side of herself. So and you have Prince Jonathan has a cousin, and it seems like he's really good at sorcery and magic, and he may be secretly trying to kill the king and the queen and the prince. And so he's like attacking people through magic, and she suspects it, but literally everyone's warning is, unless you get proof, don't try to attack him. You're going up against someone who's super skilled, so don't do it. So basically, in the beginning, it seems like, things are going as normal. Oh, so she goes off and she's like camping in the wilderness or something. It seems like she's by herself. It's snowing, it's a tent, and the goddess shows up and she's like, well, your mother died when you were younger, so I'm gonna be here to help try to guide you. And she finds like this kitten or this cat or whatever, and she's like gonna take it in, and the goddess warns her and is like, don't be so hasty about like not developing a love. You never know, you might change your mind. You're gonna grow up, you might want to get married, you might want to fall in love, you might want to have kids and stuff like that. And but she's so young, she can't even think about like possibly falling in love one day. So, but basically it seemed like the cat was kind of a gift from the goddess, and like she's being protected by this goddess against evil and stuff like that. The goddess has taken a special interest in her. So, but she's really not sure about this whole love thing, probably because she's so young and she has a bunch of things and tasks that she has to do. She has to learn how to be a knight, and she gets chosen as Jonathan's squire, and she like passed the test and everything. So it's like, oh, okay. Then it seemed like there was a war that was coming on in the land, and George the thief, or he calls himself a king, he gives information to Alana, and everyone calls her Alan right now, because because he trusts her. He doesn't necessarily trust everyone at the palace, and he has a special interest in her, wanting to make sure she's okay and stuff like that too. And he basically tells her, I wish I could go with you, but if I left for 2 months or however long the war is gonna last, literally when I got back, basically it sounded like someone would take over as being the top thief or the top king of the city underneath the main king and queen or whatever. And he was like, they'd kill me. So he's like, nope, can't go. And so, but she gives him important information. They notify the king and the queen and the prince and everything through like her teacher, Miles. I think he's a duke. I forget what he is. But like they end up going to war, and the king is very protective of the prince because they only have one son, they only have one heir to the throne. And the rule is you have to stay in this certain section, and it's less likely that you're going to get any combat experience because like it's hard to like go through this area or whatever. But there were trees that they should have like cut down to be able to see the river, because like there's a river crossing and there's different sections and there's rapids and it's hard, so the only way that it would be able to get across is this shallow area in the river. And so basically like they don't cut the trees down, and then there's traitors amongst them. And then Alana like saved a whole bunch of the men because she has like the gift of healing magic, so she was using that to help some of the soldiers heal and stuff like that. And she eventually ends up getting kidnapped. This is a like period of 2 months. And so all the men get upset, and about 30 men and Prince Jonathan, like they made a rule, like if you go and try to rescue some of the ones that got captured or whatever, you're going to be tried for treason, because your job is to stay at this post and make sure like no one gets past your area or whatever, which seems like a really stupid rule to me. So, but like they kidnap Alana, they don't know that she's a girl, and so Jonathan's upset because he knows she's a girl, and he's like worried that they might find out and like hurt her or something. So like they go and get her, and like the other team, they used like magic to chain her up so that way she can get just use a lockpick to get out of her chained up handcuffs or whatever they're called, and she was able to lockpick the other two soldiers that got taken with her, or that got kidnapped too, or whatever. So, and then Prince Jonathan and all the other soldiers showed up, and they were able to get the whole valley, because it was like a whole valley that they were fighting for, and another king. And so the king he said, I will forever give up any rights to the valley, and they won the battle, and then they went back to the palace. But then it seemed like the queen was getting sicker and sicker and sicker, because some people got a fever, and she almost got killed by wolves. And it's like the cousin is very heavily has a high level of magic or sorcery experience, but they're like brushing it off, like no, he wouldn't do anything wrong, or if you do think it's really him, you need proof. And so in the end, she grows up, she goes to see her brother, and her brother warns her she actually goes with George. And it's like, she finds out her brother was like the top like magic person. He learned so much so fast and developed all his skills so fast that it was like he got done. He normally took like 30 years for someone to a man to learn all the sorcery stuff, but he got it done in like way less time. But it normally took like 30 years of learning it and studying it, but he went through it so fast. So like her brother Tom is very happy for her and stuff, that she's doing well, and it's getting closer for her to becoming a knight. And like a few years had passed since, coming to the palace. I forgot to mention that like in the beginning of the book, somewhere in the beginning, they briefly mentioned that her father died. And so it's like if they were trying, like, originally part of what I thought was the reason why she might have tried not to become a knight as a girl is because the father disapproved. Because in the first book it said like the father didn't want them to learn magic and stuff like that, the twins, but they did it in secret. But after her father died, she hid her identity, and some of her friends actually found out she was a girl, or some of them suspected it. And it's like she was so good that they wanted her to be successful, that they didn't say anything to like rat her out or anything like that. So, but at this point, she's like turning 16, 18, she starts like practicing with a woman in the town or the city where the palace is in secret, and starts wearing dresses to be like, what's it like to be a girl? What's it like to wear dresses? What's it like to accept your femininity or whatever? And she discovers she actually likes it. So she's growing up and she's starting to develop feelings for Prince Jonathan, but she's like not sure if it's okay or anything. And the plan is after she becomes a knight, she's gonna go with someone and they're gonna go on adventures and stuff like that. Well, what ends up happening is basically she passes her knighthood, her trial, and everything. She comes out and she gets the sense that the cousin of the prince is doing something very shady. It's like, if you don't do something now, you're all in trouble. So she breaks into his section of like the palace where he has his rooms. He had locked his door, he locked it with magic. She breaks through. And then she goes in and her cat's following her too, because her cat has helped them out, and she's able to understand the cat. The cat meows in a way that she can understand. It's like somehow she understands that the cat is speaking. And they go in and they find these dolls of her, the queen, the king, some of the other dukes, of Jonathan. And it's like basically magic, like that's like veiling them from blocking that he's like the evil guy and really wants the kingdom in the position of king for himself. And even though she like suspected it, it's like there were times when she wanted to like tell them stuff or accuse them, and it's like, you need proof, you need proof. So it was like there was different magic spells he put on all of them and stuff like that. So she gets her knighthood, gets announced as Sir Alan the Knight by the king. And then she finds that stuff and brings it out, and they're like, and then the cousin of the prince is like, I taught her how to do those kind of spells. She probably did, like, but he was saying Alan probably did those spells himself because he didn't know that she was a girl. And she probably is trying to get the kingdom for herself and everything. And it's like Jonathan was behind her to back her up. Miles was behind her. Other individuals, her friends, were there behind her to back her up of what she said. And he demanded, well, I demand, to fight Alan in combat to determine if I'm right or he's right or whatever, because again, he didn't know that she was really a girl. Neither did the queen and king. And her brother Tom had come to see her get knighted and stuff like that, and they had given her presents and stuff like that to like acknowledge her hard work of becoming a knight and passing the test at the end and everything like that. Because basically the test at the end is, do you care about people in the kingdom so much that if someone's in help, that you're gonna come to their aid no matter what? So they get into a fight. The king says, I accept the combat thing, and they fight, and he actually kind of cheats with magic, and he makes there be an illusion spell that, like, the sword, it seems like he has two swords, and he's really switching the sword from one hand to the next. And so she had this charm that helped her be able to tell when the prince's cousin was using magic, and that's how she collected all the clues of like, he really is lying to everyone, he really wants the kingdom for himself. So he like they fight, and like holding on to the charm necklace thing, it helped her be able to see which hand he had the sword in, and so she was able to tell, okay, it's in the right, and now it's on in the left, and now it's in the right. And when he was switching from one hand to the other, that's when she started attacking him and stuff. And then he attacked her so much where she had wrapped her breasts so no one could tell that she was a girl, and it made her breasts flat. And he cut that, and so then all of a sudden, like, everyone saw like through her clothes, like, oh, she has breasts, she's a girl. And her brother confirmed, like, she's my twin sister, Alana, and here's our birth papers of, I never had a twin brother, and she wanted to become a knight, and I wanted to study sorcery. And so we got to do what we wanted. And then it's like the cousin was still mad at her that he was trying to kill her and everything. So then it's like somehow she got mad and angry that he was like still trying to kill her and everything, that she was able to like rise up, protect herself, and fight even though she was like injured somewhat, and she was able to kill him instead. And so some of them were like, the king, like during that whole spiel was like, are you like, why'd you lie to us about being a girl? And so she made the statement, well, if you had known I was really a girl, would you have knighted me? Would you have allowed me to learn how to become a knight? And he was silent. And so it was like, yep, his silence was basically like, nope, wouldn't have allowed it. So she's like, point taken. And so it's like, so, but because she did it, she got the night, she got the training, she proved herself and everything, they allowed her to be a female knight. And then it ends where it's like she's gonna go on an adventure with someone. I forget who's going with them because I forgot some of the people's names or who's who. And Jonathan's like, let me know what you want to do. But it seemed like Jonathan wants to marry her. George the thief wants to marry her. So she has like two guys to pick from of who is she really going to fall in love with? Who is she going to marry? So I wonder what's going to happen in the next book. So moral lessons. Well, I mean, we live in a society where people date a lot of different individuals and stuff like that. So, and not everyone is like faithful to just one individual. So, but I grew up with a Christian background where maybe my morals are higher than some individuals, but I like this idea that you're designed by the goddess or the gods or the one who created you in your mother's womb to be 100% compatible with one individual, male and female. And you're loyal to them, and that's it, and that's all. That's the individual you want to be married to, and that's it. And everyone else is created in the same way, where it's like one male and one female. They're designed for each other to be 100% compatible no matter what. But I don't have any proof if that's really legit. But this idea of having to pick between two different guys, two different individuals, like someone's heart's gonna get broken. But that seems like kind of cruel to me. So to me, that seems kind of deranged. Like, it's like, maybe these guys shouldn't be trying to kiss her at all, because in this book already, George kissed her first, then Jonathan, and it's like, and now they're having like problems with each other, like being friends and stuff like that. And kind of hints at that because it's like they both want the same woman, but she was getting really, really jealous when Jonathan was dancing with other ladies at court or whatever. So it's like this whole like drama, and I just don't like the relationship warped drama in this book. Because it doesn't sound fun. It's like, if I ever get married, I want the guy to be faithful to me and only me and want only me. And and I would only want him and have those like romantic feelings for him only too. So so I don't like that aspect of this book. However, there is this point of like, if someone's going to harm you and do evil and they want to kill someone just because they want power and control and everything, and they get good at sorcery or whatever, there is something to standing up for yourself, standing up for what is right, standing up for the ones that are for protecting all the people of the land. And that's what they were doing, protecting the people of the land. It's more discussing of, here's the how-to of how to become a knight. You need training. You part of your training is you're a squire first before a knight, and you help other people in battle by getting them what they need, making sure their horse is ready, they have the supplies they need. So you don't necessarily go to the battle scene with them, but you're lending a hand, whatever you can do. You're working together as a team with your position or whatever. And then it showed how, like, part of being a squire, going up to becoming a knight, is you're literally helping serve a certain individual, where it's like, okay, you're responsible for bringing their plate of food to them or their drink for the evening to them. And then you gotta get your food yourself and stuff like that. So you develop honor, you develop loyalty, but at the same time, it's like, if you have important information, it shows like, if you're humble and you're trying to learn and do your best, it's like, it showed how like the older generation, people that were older than her, the males in her life, they valued like her feedback or what she was learning or the information that she knew, and so they didn't act like a know-it-all. So I guess those would be like the more moral lessons of like, even if you're older, even if you're a teacher, you can learn something from someone that's younger than you. They may have gotten important information, and have a perspective that you don't. So you can learn from a younger person too. So it's the older generations and the younger generations learning from each other. And then learning to love, learning to value your friends and your companions and work together as a team, and then accept whoever designed you or whoever made you. Accept who you are. If you're a female, accept that you're a female. Accept that you're a man. You can't change what gender you are. But in today's society, some people, they think they can be whatever gender they want. But again, this is just my perspective. But this is what this book was bringing out, is that she was born a girl, and she's going to turn into a woman, and she can't run away from her gender. She has to embrace who she is. So she likes a lot of the things that knights like. It's basically, this is the career she's choosing, but she wants to be a woman knight, and that's what the goddess wanted. So it's like, there's nothing wrong with liking certain activities if men typically like those activities more than women, or boys like those activities more than girls. There's nothing wrong with a girl liking those activities too, but like, are you gonna like give up what gender you were really born with? 'Cause you shouldn't have to. So I don't know. But again, in today's society, some men want to be women and some women want to be men. And like they need to come to their own conclusions. I'm not here to tell anyone, hey, you're wrong for thinking that you want to be a man when you're a woman, or you're wrong for thinking you want to be a woman when you were born a man, or whatever. um this is your choice. Believe what you want. But again, I was raised a Christian, like with Christian values, where it's like, hey, you were born with certain body parts, that means you're a girl. Okay, so it made me embrace that. And yeah, I want to be a girl, I want to be a woman. But I'm not going to tell people they can't be whatever they want, because that's their choice. However, if there is really someone who designed you in your mother's womb, if they made you to be a certain gender, you're really fighting against the one who designed you in your mother's womb if there's really only two genders. Like, I don't know how it doesn't make, like, where's the science to back up the proof that you can be neither gender or both genders? How does the science work for procreation, like, of having a baby, if you're both genders? Do you have the ability to go from one gender to the next gender, and you take turns having a baby? If you get married, like, how does it work? Like, so if you can prove the science behind, like, switching genders or whatever, then, like, I'm interested in, like, the science. But I need hardcore science that is sound, that actually works, in order for that theory to be true. But for me personally, again, I am a woman, so I'm looking at as a woman who's embracing being a woman in their femininity. And it's like, truthfully, for me, I wouldn't want to pretend to be a boy to learn how to be a knight. I wouldn't want to be a knight at all, because, like, we live in, I feel like everything that we have as far as stuff is concerned, it's like you need a man to do everything. Like, the wood is so hard to carry, the chairs are heavier than they should be for your kitchen table. Like, the tools are designed for men, where it's like all the tools are like, oh, you need a man to operate this tool. And so, like, I guess I wish there was some kind of material where it's like, here's material where it's both genders can equally work on it, and it's not too hard for the woman, and it's not too easy for the man. And so you could learn how to do your car mechanics yourself, build your house yourself, build a boat yourself, like, learn how to build a motor boat engine yourself, like, all that kind of stuff. And so, I mean, like, there is this aspect, it's like, I would like to be able to do these things myself, but do I want to do it with material that it's like, this is material designed for a man only, and you have to have macho muscles? Like, that does not sound appealing to me at all. Why can't we invent something where it's like, here's something where it's easier for a woman to work on and repair her cars and everything, and make the good, lasting quality products and stuff like that, so this can last for years and years and years and years. So, like, that's the kind of society I want to live in. So, but I don't know how to do all these things. And it's like, but seriously, when I have tried to learn how to change a tire, literally it feels like it's a man's tire. It feels like it's a man's car, because they're like, you need to gain muscle. Well, if I gain too much muscle, like, or what are you trying to tell me? You want me to look like a man? No, I don't want to look like a man. I want to look like a woman. And maybe I have a certain muscle range. Why can't you invent a car and materials where it's like, oh, here's easier materials to work on because you want less muscle. So, anyways, that's like a man sword. That it's like super heavy that only a man can carry. No, but a sword with material where it's like it's not too heavy, not too light. Yeah, I could understand that. Or is there a sword that could be way lighter, efficient? It's like I'd be open to like handling that kind of sword. And then there's this idea in my head, can swords be so sharp that it is actually a really good tool to actually help cut down trees and stuff? Like, why would I want to use a sword to actually kill people or fight? I'd probably want to use it as a tool. So I'm interested in using tools, but not necessarily fighting with a whole bunch of people. So, but again, she's fighting against evil. She's fighting against like a dictator, someone who wants to be a dictator, and she's fighting against evil because like they're literally trying to kill the king and queen and everybody that's good, and Jonathan was loving and kind and everything. So, yeah, and sometimes I feel like the government today and the whole world today, it's like, please, someone, like a whole group of people needs to stand up and be like, we don't like how the economy is going. Please bring down the economy. Please change the money system. Please change how things are operated, because it's not working. It's just making life more and more and more expensive. Like, let's come together and change the economy, change the infrastructure of how things are designed. And we can make this land great and work together as a community, as a team, to get things done, to learn, to grow, have fun, Like, how do you do that? I want to live in that kind of society, but I don't have the ability to change everything myself. So, if you have listened to this book or read this book, do you have any moral lessons or lessons that you've gotten out of this book that I've missed? Feel free to put that in the comment section below. And if there was, too many spoilers, sorry, I did warn you in the beginning. Again, hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, feel free to like and subscribe to this channel if you want.